Testing, testing. Okay. This is the part that's in English. Can I just check before I start? How many of you can follow me if I speak like this? Can you put your hand up? Wow. Can you put your hand up if you don't understand anything? So maybe we don't need to translate, no? Shall we try in English? And I'll speak really slowly. Okay, do my best. What I might do is just ask at some moments for you to explain the details, okay? Okay, let's try. It's already 20 past. I'm going to try and take about 30 minutes to do this presentation. I just want to say a huge thank you for being invited to come and present here. I actually spent the whole week in Istanbul. The whole of this week travelling around, gone on the Bosphorus, gone to see the Blue Mosque, Hagia Sophia, etc. It's been a fantastic week. And I didn't know what to present. I was thinking so much about what I was going to present today. And I decided that I wanted to make sure I could give you something that hopefully you can take away. So I'm going to talk about an idea that is really growing at the moment. This is an idea where there is research all over the world. It is really, really beginning to create a lot of interest. But the most important thing is it's really easy. It's about technology and education, but it's a really, really simple idea. And to make things easy for you, I have put the whole presentation on the internet. If you write down this http://www.scribe.com/doc/227235149/, if you write that down, you will have my whole presentation that I'm going to do today. Okay? I don't know if you want to quickly translate some of that, just in case.
Okay. İstanbul'u gezdim gelir gelmez. Ayasofya'yı ve diğer yerleri gördüm. Buraya gelirken yapmak istediğim sizin işinize yarayacak bir şeyler öğretmekti. Ve sunumum internette yer alıyor. İnternet sitesi de teachertrainingvideos.com.
And that's the most important, that link. They need that link. Okay? That link at the bottom is my presentation.
Ve sunumun altındaki link de önemli.
Okay?
Okay.
Right, okay, let's try and see. Can you follow me okay? Yeah? No problems. Okay, let's try and do it in English because otherwise it's going to be too slow, yeah? I'm going to quickly tell you a little bit about me, just very quickly. I'm going to show you an idea that has created enormous interest. And as I said, I think hopefully it's something that you're going to be able to see. But I'm also going to take you on a journey, how I started the idea and how the idea has developed and keeps changing and changing. And so it's a story that I'm going to tell you. My name's Russell Stannard. I am a freelance teacher trainer. I do a little bit of work at the University of Warwick and also at the Norwich Institute of Language Education. But really, I'm kind of known for a website that is called teachertrainingvideos.com. Teachertrainingvideos.com is to help teachers use technology. I make videos where I show the teachers how to use technology in their teaching. It could be a podcast, it could be a blog, it could be these videos are really for the teachers. They're all free and they show you different things that you might want to use as a teacher. I'm going to give you a quick example. So what I do is I use a technology like Camtasia or Jing to record the screen of my computer so that I can show the teachers how to use the technology. Let me show you an example.
We can see a typical binder here. It's organised by tabs. You can see this one's got 8 tabs plus the instructions for the project. Probably the teacher did the first one or told the students to load the instructions into the first page.
So that is what is on my website, is videos to show teachers how to use technology. This is an example of a technology called Live Binder. And I'm showing you how to use that technology. And that is what my website does. Let me just close this down. So that is the website. You can go on the website and click on any links and watch the videos. Now, I just want you to think about that technology. In the year 2000, I was at a conference in London, and I saw that technology. I saw somebody recording the screen of their computer. At the time, it was completely new. People know about it now, but then nobody knew about it. And I saw this technology, and I couldn't believe it. I was, wow, this man has recorded the screen of his computer, like as if he had a camera pointing at it. I thought to myself, if my students sent me their work and I opened it onto my computer and I turned on this technology, I could record myself giving feedback to my students. I could open the students' work, mark it, turn on the screen capture software and record myself giving the feedback, send the video to the student. I thought to myself, wow, that would be revolutionary. That would change how the teacher can give feedback to the students. So I had that idea for 6 years. I didn't know how to use the technology. 6 years later, I learnt how to use that technology, and I decided to do some experiments. I'm going to give you an example. I want you to think, imagine you are in my class. You write your essay, and I give you the feedback like this.
Yeah, interesting point here you're making about the number of blogs that are actually used in education, and particularly the number of blogs that are actually completed and used as part of a formal assessment. And you're taking kind of anecdotal evidence here, but I suggest that if you look at the Blancher article that I put in the reading list, you'll see that there are actually some statistics about the number of blogs that have been used in education, and particularly those blogs that have been assessed. So I definitely think you need to look at that. Just coming down as well to this part here, you said that the blog that you do is assessed. Can you provide a little bit of information about the way that the blog is assessed? I'd be particularly interested to know what you use as the criteria for actually assessing the blog, and that would be very interesting.
I just want you to think.
Interesting point here you're making
sorry.
about the number of blogs that are actually used in education.
That was a real example. That was one of my students had written their essay. I opened it on the screen. I marked the important things, and then I turned on the screen capture. I recorded myself and sent the video to the student. That student didn't get feedback with me writing or crosses. They got a video back from me. That was the way I gave the feedback to my student. I'm going to show you another example. This is the first example I did. It was a group of 11 students, Chinese students, who were learning English, low level. I opened the work, I marked the grammar mistakes, I turned on the screen capture and recorded myself correcting the written piece and sent the video to the students. Let me just show you this example. Sorry.
Hi Luke, just want to go through some of the things in your essay here. My name is Yue Hualu. I am Chinese, but of the moment. Now you've got the wrong preposition there, so we need to change that if you can. Here you said at the weekends, but can you look at the spelling of that word, because you've spelt that word incorrectly. Now, if we look at this sentence, when I first come to England, now I didn't speak English. Now, this is in the past, and you've used the present simple here. So we need to change that to use a past verb. Here, you're using the wrong word. When we describe a place like London or New York, we don't use the word site. If it's a small place, we use the word town. But can you think of another word?
So imagine that. Imagine being a student in a class and receiving your feedback that way, against the normal way. Think about what that would mean in terms of learning. Think about what that is in terms of value, of using technology for add-on, for additional value to your students, if you could do this. And the important thing is, this is incredibly easy to do. I'm going to show you one more example. And the example I'm going to show you is where I just made one video. I had a class of students. They were doing presentations. And I took notes of their presentation. And then I went home, opened up Microsoft, wrote the important things, and just did one video for the whole class. And then I sent the feedback to everyone. So this is the feedback after a presentation. They've all done a presentation. I've watched the presentation, taken notes, gone home, opened up my screen, written the notes, and made one video that I sent to everyone to give them general feedback on their presentations. Let me just show you that example. I keep losing my cursor. I don't know what's going on. Sorry. Sorry. Can you do a little bit of a translation while I'm doing, yeah, just trying to... If you want to explain about the feedback idea.
Teachertrainingvideos.com'un amacı aslında öğretmenlere teknolojiyi öğretmek ve bunu yaparken kullanılan başlıca programlar Camtasia ve Jin. Bu program ekranı kaydetmeye yarıyor. Ekranı kaydetmeye yarıyor ve bunu nasıl keşfettim? Ben 2000 yılında birinin ekranı, bilgisayar ekranını kaydettiğini gördüm. Sesi ve görüntüsü kaydedilmişti. Tabii o zamanlar bu teknoloji çok yeniydi. Fazla kimse bilmiyordu ve vay dedim, yani eğer benim öğrencilerim ödevlerini kaydederse, sesleriyle birlikte bilgisayar ekranlarını kaydederlerse bana gönderebilirler. Ve ben de onları izleyip yanlışlarını düzeltebilirim. Ve yanlışlarını düzeltirken hem neden yanlış yaptıklarını anlatabilirim, hem de kendi sesimi kaydedebilirim ve onlara geri gönderebilirim. Böylelikle onlar da hatalarını daha iyi anlarlar. Sadece bir kağıttaki çarpıları görmemiş olurlar. Ve
It's okay? Yeah? Okay, right. I'm just going to show this example then. This is from one student. So this is one video, sorry, for the whole class. So I've watched their video, their presentations. I've taken notes. I've written the notes out. I'm just making one video. I send it to everyone. You could put it on Moodle, put it on Blackboard, put it onto Blogger, or send it as an attachment. And this one is where I'm just going through their presentations. Go through some of the feedback from the presentations that you did on Monday. The first thing I just want to suggest to you is, all of you is, and a lot of you were doing this, is don't look at your notes really. I mean, you need to kind of be confident enough that you don't need to keep looking down and reading through your notes, because it doesn't sound very natural when you're doing your presentations. As a general guideline, I tend to just take very, very short notes rather than detailed notes, and I notice a lot of you are actually reading from your presentations, so keep that in mind. Number two, try and rehearse if you're really worried about your presentation. So this is the feedback I gave them. Again, it's not written, it's visual, it's oral. This is very quick, just one video for the whole class. This is particularly interesting because the next time the students are going to do a presentation, they can watch the video and refer to it. So it's very much about using what we call feed forward, giving feedback for something they're going to do in the future as well. Now I'm just going to show you what we began to realize is that this can be done for almost anything. It doesn't have to be just language teaching. It could be history, it could be geography, it could be feedback on anything at all. And I'm going to show you this one because in my course at Warwick, the students have to keep a blog. When you give feedback on a blog, it's very difficult because the blog is here and you are writing about the blog and you have the two things separate. You've got the blog and you're writing about it. Now I can open the blog on the screen, turn on the screen capture and give my feedback directly to the student. And this is a real example from a student of mine a couple of years ago. Let me just show you this one. So this student's name is Joe Gagonga.
Joe, yeah, very nice to see that you've got additional pages to your blog here, and I like the way that you've used them. I also like the way that you've made your headings nice and equal. The formatting and layout of your site is excellent. One of the things I will point out to you though straight away is that you're not making very good use of space. If you notice at the top of the page here, you've got a section called About Me, but you've also got the same thing here on the right-hand side. Now, my suggestion is that you make a choice of one or the other, because obviously you're repeating information. And as a general point, I feel that a lot of the time, here on the right-hand side, you're using a lot of what we call plugins. Now, the trouble with the plugins is that they slow the speed of the internet down and slow the speed.
I just want to stop that there and just ask you something. I want you to think. It's 51 seconds. 51 seconds of feedback that I'm giving to the student. It took me 51 seconds to record that. The problem is distributing it, but actually making the recordings is incredibly simple. Imagine how much information I'm giving that student in just 51 seconds. Imagine trying to write that down. When we talk about education, we talk about technology, we talk about value added, that you're doing something new, you're doing something that you couldn't do before. And this is why I like this idea. I know this idea is incredibly simple, but the results in terms of the impact that it can have on teaching and learning. If you imagine being a student receiving that, the woman who received this blog, she's actually quite famous. Her name is Joe Gagonga. She was one of the students on my master's degree. And, you know, she said, Russell, this is incredible. This is such a different way of giving feedback to me. And it's so much more in terms of the information you're giving, etc. Now, this idea generated an incredible amount of feedback. The idea, as I said, started in 2006, And in fact, I came to Turkey in 2010 and presented some of the work on this idea. The reaction in England and then in America was incredible. It generated enormous publicity. It helped me to win a few prizes because in England, there's a big problem with feedback. It often comes up in the surveys as one of the problematic areas in terms of higher education particularly. Students are often not happy with the feedback that they receive from the teacher. And so obviously this was an opportunity or a possible idea to actually develop the feedback and to provide feedback in a more multimodal way. Now, so far, I've presented this work in 26 countries around the world. It really has become incredibly popular. The most interesting thing, in a way, has not been the fact of my idea, but it's been what other people have started to do with the similar idea. And I'm going to show you in a minute just how easy it is to do this as well, because I want you to realize just how simple this can be. At the moment, and in the presentation, people are beginning now to research this. So we've kind of gone through the initial idea, but see, does it really work? There's a Peter Matteson in Norway has done some research in other areas. My work was in English, but other people are now starting to look at, well, can we use it for maths? Can we use it for geography? Can we use it for computer science? Can we give feedback in other areas? And that's the work of Peter Matteson. The research in Canada has looked at a tool called Jing. The first tool that I used was Camtasia. But Camtasia actually requires you to do the recording and then to compress it. Whereas Jing is a lot quicker to do. So I kind of moved from using Camtasia originally to now doing the feedback with Jing. And interestingly has been the research at the Open University. So the Open University are particularly interested in this idea because the students on a distance courses where they don't meet the student at all. And if they provide feedback using video feedback, then it brings a strong connection between the participants on the course and the teacher. And that is why a lot of distance organizations are particularly interested in this idea. So in the handout, you can access where it says A, you can access all of those pieces of research if you are interested in the work. There's other research at Coventry University, at Cardiff University, etc. In the research, some of the things that people are saying, the students really like the voice. They like the idea that we're providing the feedback and that they can hear us as well as see us on the screen. The students think it's much more personal, particularly if you do the one-to-one feedback. It's not always possible to do that. If you've got a big class, it might not be possible. You might do one video for the whole class. But students really like the idea that this kind of is a much more personal way of giving feedback. The key one is the amount of information. I'm speaking normally at around about 140 words a minute. So in a 5-minute video, I can give 600-700 words of feedback to a student. So I can provide a lot of feedback. We can elaborate, we can give more detail, we can show them websites to visit. Anything that we do on the screen will come out in the recording. The feedback can be timely. We can do the video and send it to the students straight away as well. Some of the students say it's like having you sitting next to me because I can see you, I can hear you. One of the things about feedback is that a lot of feedback is kind of a lot of teaching and learning has changed, and we look at teaching and learning now, and we look at the visual, we look at the sound, we try to make it much more multimodal. But a lot of feedback isn't like that. A lot of feedback is still traditionally written. So one of the nice things about this is that it offers the opportunity for multimodal form of feedback. There's been a lot of work in podcasting, using podcasting for feedback, but now this idea offers the even more multimodal form because you have both the visual and the oral. Students find it motivating. A lot of the students, for example, find that this is a more interesting way of receiving feedback than the normal way that we provide it. And then obviously groups like dyslexic students might find this also very, very useful because they can see and hear the feedback rather than just simply read it. So it's got lots of possible benefits as well. Now, just talk a little bit about the technology, and I want to kind of show you. I started with TechSmith Camtasia. That was the first technology that I used. And then I began to use a tool called Jing. Jing is free. You don't have to pay for Jing. You can do a recording of up to 5 minutes long. More recently, I started to use a tool called Snagit. Snagit you have to pay for, but it's not so expensive. I mean, it's not cheap, but in the university, we decided to have Snagit available for teachers. And Snagit I think is around $25, $30. But a good place to start is with Jing, because Jing is free. You can download Jing onto your computer, and you can almost use it straight away. There are other free tools as well. One of them is ScreenR, and another one is called Screencast-O-Matic. Now, I want to show you, just really quickly, basically how this technology works, because I think if you see how simple it is to do, then you'll get an idea of the possibilities of how we could use this tool. So let me just show you an example with Jing. Let me just, here. Jing is the technology that I've got there. I just download it onto my computer. And all I need to do is mark an area on the screen, click the button, and from that moment, that part of the screen is being recorded. So if I just click here, I mark an area on the screen. Now, when I click on this button here, that part of the screen is being recorded. It doesn't matter what I do, whatever is in here, it doesn't matter. So if I click and I open up another page, and I went to my pictures, and I went to people, and I picked a picture of Didier Drogba and put that onto the screen, it will still come out. Whatever you're doing in that area is just simply recorded. I can pause it, I can resume, and then when I'm finished, I can stop. The video is made almost immediately, and this tool is free to use. So you can imagine, I can open my student's work, I can mark the area, click the button, and record myself, and then send that video to the student. So let's just see how easy it is to do. Okay. For some reason, it's another page, and I went to my pictures, and I went to people, and I picked a picture of Didier Drogba and put that onto the screen. It will still come out. Whatever you're doing in that area is just simply recorded. I can resume, and then when I'm finished, Okay, so you get the idea, just how simple it is for me to do that. I can literally just do the recording in seconds. Imagine, for example, that I was teaching you English, and I was in a lesson, and I noticed that there was some problems with pronunciation. So let's say the word accommodation, legal, Chelsea. Imagine I just went home and I do some more, and I then just simply can make a recording. If I was in an English class or a French class or a Spanish class, just simply record, click on the button here, and I could go through and say, okay, from today's lesson, some of you had problems with the first word, accommodation, accommodation. I can even mark on the screen. All of that will come out in the video. I can then send that to the students. So I can give them almost instant feedback on anything. Some of you have problems with the first one, accommodation. Sorry, okay, obviously, I think this because I got the microphone there. But hopefully you get the idea that you can make feedback on almost anything in just literally in a few seconds. If I just want to open this up again. So, in terms of the potential of this idea, it really is very simple to do. If you're a teacher, if you're working in lecturing or you're working with students, you can almost immediately download this technology and think about using it with your students. Now, I just want to talk about one more last thing before I stop. I originally started with the idea of me giving feedback to my students. But now, the work I'm doing is the other way around. I am starting to use the technology to get my students to reflect on their own work or on the work of their peers. So the thing is, Jing is free. So we don't only use Jing ourselves as the teacher, but we could also give Jing to our students and get them to use it for reflection, for thinking about the work they've done. For example, it could be their dissertation. They could be writing out their dissertation. You could give them some questions and they can open up Jing and record their answers and send it to you. And this is the one thing that I'm doing at the moment, is that I'm actually using Jing the other way round to get my students to do reflection. I'm going to show you an example. This is a teacher from Poland. I went to Poland. I was doing some training with teachers there. I gave them some questions and said, after your lesson, can you record yourself reflecting on your lesson? So just a quick example of that.
Russell, in answer to your first question, what was your objectives? My objective...
So now I've completely changed it, and this is the work I'm doing now. I'm not using it only to give feedback to my students, because very much the future of education is going to be about us developing the ability in our students to be able to reflect, to be better learners themselves. So we're doing a lot of work now where the focus is on reflection. And here, the teacher, in this case it's a teacher, she's a teacher trainer, a student, the teacher is doing the feedback. I have sent her the questions. She opens the questions into Jing, records her answers, and sends them back to me. And I find this a much better way of doing reflection than if I use, for example, a diary or a blog. I really like the idea that the reflection that the students do are recorded. And so that's the kind of way that I'm going. Now, I focused mainly on Jing. I just want to point out to you another tool, just one more, that we've also started working with for the similar idea. Again, if you don't know this tool, this is free. It allows the student or you to upload your PowerPoint presentations and then add your voice to the presentation. And then it's put together and you can share it on the internet. Now, I've been testing that here and it works absolutely fine. I'm going to show you an example of one of my students recently. So, I just hopefully... I think I've closed it down. Let me just see if I can quickly open up an example. It might just take a few seconds to open. But this is a really interesting tool. It's called Present.me. And it allows the student or the teacher to upload a PowerPoint presentation or upload a PDF file and then add their voice and their camera to it. You'll just see in a minute as it comes onto the screen. So this is a student of mine. His name is Jonathan. On the left are the questions that I sent him, and on the right it's Jonathan doing the recording. This technology is completely free. It's on the internet. It's called present.me. You can do a recording of up to 1 hour. This is being used a lot for the flipped classroom, for example. So you could also do it if you wanted to make distance learning courses as well. So Jonathan is reflecting on the lesson that he did with me using this particular tool. I'll just play you a quick example. So volume's a bit loud. Let me just turn this down.
Hi Russell, this is Jonathan. Now I'm going to talk about my feedback and reflection about Warwick activity. The first question is, what type of language processing took place while the activity was taking place?
I can jump to any part of the presentation, listen to what Jonathan said. I can send him the questions that I want him to reflect on. He can upload them into PresentMe, add his voice, and then share the link with me. And it's incredible that this technology, which is completely free, allows that to be done for up to 60 minutes. It's an absolutely fabulous way of getting the students to reflect, or they could do this in collaboration. If you're a language teacher, for example, you could have the questions on the left-hand side and the students on the right-hand side interviewing each other. So it could be used for that kind of work as well. So that one's called Present Me. So in conclusion, what I tried to show you today is that just one simple technology can be used in so many different ways. It can be used for speaking, getting our students to speak. It can be used for feedback. It can be used for reflection. It can be used for distance learning, for flipped classroom. Just two simple technologies that I've showed you. One is called Jing, and the other one is called Present Me. They're both free, and they both have lots of different ways that they can be used. I've put some references in the handout as well if you want to read some of the research that's taking place around this particular area. I've also put some videos there to show you how to use Jing and how to use Present Me. If you would like to try these out with your students and look at these technologies, then you can go to the links and watch the video, me showing you how to use Jing and me showing you how to use Present Me. The videos for Jing have been played 100,000 times. It's a really, really popular technology at the moment. Please make use of my website if you get the chance, if you want to learn about sort of blogging or Google Docs or using Adobe Connect or Camtasia or Jing. You can go there. There's loads of training videos. You can follow me on Twitter or Facebook. I've put the whole of my presentation online, so please, if you want to access it, it's there. And I'll say thank you very much. I hope you understood me.
Sorusu olan var mı?
Do you want to give them the microphone, yeah? Is it working? Yeah?
My question is, are you mostly using these self-reflection things with MA students or any other students?
Yeah, well, the example I showed you, the first one, was an MA student. Okay, that was the essay. So I opened her essay. I marked 5 things, only 5, that I wanted to give feedback on. And then I sent her that video, then she could rewrite her essay. If you remember the first example, the level was very low. It was a student with a lot of mistakes. So you can use it in both levels, low level and high level. And the research in Norway, they looked at different levels but they also looked at different subjects, geography, history, science, computer science, etc. So I think that the idea can be used in a lot of different ways. The big problem with this idea is the speed of the internet. This is what is changing, because when I had the idea in 2006, there were very few places that could do it, but now more and more people can use this technology. We still have to wait. It's still advanced for some places, but really now there are many, many more people using this. I'm not always suggesting that you give one video to every student. If you've got a big class, that's not possible. But maybe sometimes you do one video for the whole class, general problems.
So you're saying that it's not about the level, but it's about the speed of the internet?
I mean, exactly, in terms of stopping it happening. You know, anywhere that's got a fast internet connection are beginning to do work on this. Sweden, Austria, I mean, many places. You know, we're doing it at Warwick University a lot. A lot.
Thank you.
All right? Anyone else got another question? Do you want to take the... Yeah.
Do you know any... Sorry.
Yeah.
Any application capture for tablet device?
Yes, they're just coming out, and I've forgotten the name. It's actually been demoed to me. There are now 2 ways you can record your tablet. You can send your tablet onto your computer and just use Camtasia, but actually now there is software that allows you to do it on your tablet. I think it's only for the iPad, but you will see that there is just starting to come out. I saw it demoed for the first time about a week ago. Okay, I don't know how good it is because I haven't got it on my tablet, but I do know that they're doing it. At the moment, what people do is mirror the iPad on there, and then they do the Camtasia or Jing from there, from the mirror. But I have seen an app that actually records onto your iPad. If you email me, I will get you the name of it, because I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's definitely coming. It's already there. Okay?
Thanks.
You're saying that time is out, so
Okay.
we have no more questions.
Okay. I've been told to stop. Thank you very much. I really hope that was useful, yeah? Thank you. All right, cheers. Thank you. I'm sorry. It wouldn't have worked. It would have been too slow.